Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. So it has been a long time since my last video. Okay, so today we have an iPhone XR which came in for the water damage problem. Okay, jadi hari ini kita ada satu iPhone XR yang ada masalah dengan water damage. Okay, jom kita tengok apa yang rosak dengan telefon ni. So we are going to open the phone first. Okay, jadi kita akan buka dahulu telefon ni. As we all can see, this is the refurbished iPhone. Okay, macam yang kita tengok dekat sini. Ini adalah telefon refurbished di mana ada stiker-stiker dekat sini. Okay, so the battery is also swollen. Okay, bateri dia dah kembung. Okay, jadi kita akan buka dahulu telefon ni. So the battery has been detached. It is not connected to the motherboard. Jadi bateri dia dah buang sebenarnya. Dan bateri ni tak bersambung dengan motherboard. Jadi kita buka dahulu untuk tengok apa yang berlaku. And I think the phone is short. Dan saya menjangkakan telefon ni ada masalah dengan short. Okay, so I don't know either the screen is okay or not. Okay, jadi kita tak tahu sama ada LCD ni dia okey ke tak okey, boleh guna ke tak boleh guna, sebab ini adalah telefon yang datang dengan case water damage. Okay, jadi untuk case water damage ni selalunya kadang-kadang boleh jadi LCD dia rosak. Okay, kadang-kadang LCD dia okey. Kita akan buka dahulu motherboard ni untuk tengok apakah kerosakan yang dialami. So we're going to test the motherboard with the power supply reading so that you guys can see either the phone is normal or shorted. Okay, jadi kita akan kita akan sambungkan telefon dengan power supply. Okay, untuk kita tahu sama ada telefon ni short ataupun tak short. Jadi ada software update. Okay, jadi kita akan update dahulu software power supply. Okay, power supply yang saya guna ni adalah Reden. Okay, so while waiting for the software update, we're going to check the phone under the microscope. Jadi sambil menunggu software update, kita akan tengok by physical dahulu. Okay, apakah yang ada pada motherboard ni. Okay, there is no corrosion around the upper side, and then let's see around here some corrosions on the upper side, which is the I don't know what is here, as you can see right there. Okay, jadi seperti yang kita tengok dekat sini ada sedikit apa ni, corrosion yang berlaku dekat situ. Jadi dekat bawah ni ada sedikit corrosion, and perhaps the connector is worn. Okay, mungkin connector dia dah rosak. Okay, kita cuba browse dahulu. Dan dekat sini ada sedikit kesan corrosion kalau kita tengok. So we are going to open the shielding first. Okay, so this is the thermal pad. So we are going to test with the power supply first, and still the power supply is still downloading the update. Okay, so we are going to wait until the update process is done. And now the update process is done. We're going to extract the files and close the power supply software. And I think this is done. Okay, So the new update is some. So this is not the software, I think. Wait, so this is the new. Okay, that's right. And there has been update, firmware upgrade for the power supply. So let's try to update the power supply first. So you can see the power supply is updating. Let me try to give you a clear view on the Logitech. A little zoom so that you guys can see it is updating the firmware on the power supply. So now the power supply is updated to the latest firmware and we can use the power supply. Okay, and now this is the function that I need, where I can turn on and turn off the power supply using the button on the power supply. Whereas before this, when I want to turn on the power supply using the power supply, when using the software, I need to manually turn on the power supply using the software instead of using the power supply. Jadi ini adalah salah satu update yang sangat berguna bagi saya. Okay, kerana sebelum ni kalau kita nak kita kena gunakan butang pada software. Dan kali ni update yang terbaru di mana kita tak perlu lagi guna butang pada software tu. Sebaliknya boleh saja direct menggunakan power supply. Untuk turn on dengan turn off boleh direct dengan power supply. Jadi kita akan sambungkan iPhone ni dengan power supply dahulu untuk kita tengok adakah dia short ke tak short ke. Jadi ada short dekat situ sekitar 1.m lebih dekat situ. Saya dapat merasakan panas tu dekat bahagian sini, dan ini mungkin adalah MOSFET. Dan rasanya short tu dekat area atas ni. Sebab MOSFET ni memang selalu akan panas bila short, dia akan rasa panas dekat sini. Tapi yang peliknya kenapa nanti saya cuba connect dulu. Dah connect dengan korang tak nampak benda tu. Alamak, dia sama saja. Kita tak boleh nak on off dengan menggunakan power supply. Masih lagi nak kena on off dengan software dia. Rupanya saya tak connect dengan power supply, sebab korang tak boleh tengok reading M dia. Jadi sekarang saya dah sambungkan dia. Now I have connected the motherboard to the power supply. Then we're going to turn on the power supply so that you guys can see the shorted value. So the shorted value is 1.4 M, and I sense some heat on the upper side, whereas the downside is very hot. Because I think on the lower side is the MOSFET. And MOSFET is not guilty at this moment. Jadi MOSFET tu sebenarnya tak bersalah dalam hal ni. Jadi kita akan tengok dekat bawah mikroskop. Jadi MOSFET ni selalunya memang dia akan panas. Mungkin MOSFET tu berada dekat bawah ni. Saya pun tak tahu di manakah dia berada, tapi saya ada sense some heat on the upper side. Jadi dekat atas ni saya dapat rasakan ada panas pada bahagian atas. Jadi kita akan buang dahulu stiker ni. We're going to peel the sticker off, and then some more stickers. So this is the thermal. We're going to peel off the thermal first. Because this is where the need to peel this off before peeling the shielding here, because when you peel this, it is quite hard to open the shielding while the copper is in here. So I don't know, let's try to peel off the shielding first with the copper on the shield. Okay, jadi kita akan cuba buka shielding ni tanpa membuka dia punya copper shielding ni, copper thermal ni. Okay, so when I open the shielding, I see some corrosions on the Wi-Fi area. So it could be this capacitor is the culprit. Okay, jadi boleh jadi capacitor ni adalah punca kepada short. Okay, jadi kita akan cuci dahulu, and judging by the look, okay, tengok dengan keadaan dia, okay, kemungkinan salah satu ni dah rosak. Okay, jadi untuk tahu dia rosak ke tak rosak, kita boleh cuba untuk sentuh dia. Kalau dia longgar, dia lah yang rosak. Okay, tapi yang ni tak ada. Okay, kita tengok pada bahagian sini, tak ada kesan air dekat sini. Yang ada cuma pada bahagian sini. Okay, jadi kita akan smoke dengan rosin, dan kita tengok sama ada betul ke tak betul. Ini adalah tempat yang rosak. Today I am not going to use the thermal camera. Instead, I am using rosin as the short detector. And I think that is enough. And then we're going to connect the power supply cable, and then we're going to turn on the power supply, and then monitor which one is the problem. Okay, so I am going to switch on the power supply, and it is not giving the result. Okay, so I am going to use because I sense a heat on the upper side and the lower side, and I don't know which one is the culprit until I scan it with the power supply, because on this downside also I sense very large amounts of heat. Okay, it is quite hot on the lower side, and my guess is wrong. Okay, and I guess the problem is the Wi-Fi IC. Okay, so we're going to test with the thermal camera. Okay, I'm going to clean up my table first before using the thermal camera. Okay, now I have my thermal camera, and we're going to connect the thermal camera to my phone, and then we're going to scan with the thermal camera. So let's connect the motherboard to the power supply. Okay, and after that we are going to turn on the power supply. Okay, jadi saya akan turn on power supply. Jadi dekat situ, okay, the heat coming on the back of the motherboard. Okay, so there is just a reflections of the light. Okay, the heat is coming right there, and I think it is on the back of the motherboard. Okay, so we're going to open the, okay, so you guys can see the heat is coming from this side, and I think that is just a MOSFET. Okay, so we are going to take off the shield. Okay, jadi kita akan buang shielding dia. Okay, jadi shielding dekat bawah ni kita akan buang dahulu, dan tengok apakah komponen yang ada dekat bawah ni. Okay, and it is quite hard to open the shielding, so I am going to add some solder on this side. Okay, on this shielding. okay, so that I can remove it with ease. Okay, jadi saya akan tambahkan solder yang jenis senang cair, okay, supaya kita boleh angkat dia, okay. Ataupun saya boleh cuba secara manual, okay, di mana kita akan cuba untuk angkat dia tanpa menggunakan mikroskop, okay. Jadi kita akan cuba lagi sekali, okay. Okay, we are done with opening the shielding. Okay, sekarang kita dah selesai dengan proses buka shielding. Dan seterusnya, okay, jadi dekat sini terlalu banyak kesan-kesan, okay. Kita tengok ini adalah kesan daripada water damage, dan kita akan cuba untuk cuci dahulu, okay. Tapi sebelum tu kita akan sejukkan dahulu motherboard, okay. Jadi saya akan sejukkan motherboard menggunakan apa ni, fume extractor, okay. Jadi kita letak dekat dalam ni. So we are putting the motherboard into the fume extractor, whereas this fume extractor there's no power cord to turn on. It is some sort of cool enough, and then we're going to clean the motherboard first, okay. Sometimes by cleaning the motherboard, the short is gone, and this time I am suspecting this either on this side, on the diagram side, okay. Okay, let's use the thermal camera and connect the motherboard with the power supply. And now the moments of truth, and the shorted component, it could be the tie grease, okay. So it could be the tie grease, okay. And let's try to pull the tie grease off first, and then let's see either the VCC main is still shorted or not, okay. And we're going to put some flux over here, and I am going to use this tool, okay, tool tweezer, which is the titanium tweezer. The tie grease is off. Let's see either the VCC main is still shorted or not. So I am going to use my multimeter to see either the shorted is the short is gone or not. Okay, I think no more short, and to be as a precaution, we need to one by one measure the tie grease line, okay. So we need a board view software such as VCC to make sure each of the feet, okay, each of the feet on the motherboard is normal, okay. Now I am going to clean the motherboard first, okay. Let's put some flux. And after that, we're going to measure with the VCC, okay. So we are going to measure based on this reading on the VCC. So I am going to turn on my multimeter so that you guys can see the reading. Let's start over here. There we go. This is the shorted line, okay. So it should be 290, but multimeter is displaying it is shorted, whereas the name of the line is the Yangtze. Okay, so this is Yangtze, okay. And it is full short to the ground. Okay, let's see where's the Yangtze go. Okay, after the coil it goes into the Yangtze mid to LX, and then I think this is the VCC main. Okay, so this is the PP VDD main. Okay, and let's switch off the the layer. Okay, so this is the VCC main and this is the VBAT VCC. Okay, so I am going to connect the VCC main, okay, because I think the Yangtze is not at fault. Okay, and I think it is the VCC main that is fully shorted to the ground. Okay, let's try to measure the VCC main. Okay, I'm going to put my probe on the VCC main to check either the VCC main is normal or not. Okay, so there we go. You have the VCC main is shorted to ground. Okay, fully short to ground, and we're going to make a bypass, whereas we're going to connect the VBAT on here to the VCC main. Okay, so that we can find the culprit. Okay, so I am going to put some jumper wire on there. Okay, let's try to put the jumper wire in here. Then we're going to jumper from the VCC main to the VBAT. Okay, so no space here, we're going to put it here. And then the rest, we're going to cut the rest of the jumper wire. And I think the tie grease is not at fault, and we need to once again we're going to connect with the power supply and see where is the shorted line. Okay, what is the problem with the phone? And after connecting the VBAT to the VCC main, it will give the VBAT a shorted full short to the ground. Okay, so we're going to connect the power supply with the motherboard to the power supply, and then once again we're going to scan with the thermal camera. Okay, connecting the power supply with the motherboard, and then switch on the phone using the thermal camera. Okay, and after that we're going to scan with the thermal camera and turn on the power supply first. Okay, as we can see, there's a there we go, that is the culprit. Okay, under the none. Okay, and we're going to eliminate the capacitor. Okay, so let's turn off the power supply first. Okay, and the culprit is there. Let me show you under the microscope where is the culprit. Okay, and here is the culprit. Okay, so this is the shorted component, and we're going to pull the shorted component off from the motherboard, and let's see whether the phone is going to be normal or not. Okay, let's pull this off. It's quite hard. Okay, this is not a suitable method for you guys. Okay, And I think I am going to use the blower. Okay. This is really hard to pull it from the motherboard. Okay. It might damage other things. Okay. So let's put the shielding over here, and also the baseband CPU. Okay. And we're going to use the blower. There is glue attached to the capacitor. Okay, so we need to get rid of the glue first, then one more time. So this time I am not going to use the blower because it might risk the the motherboard, and then I am try to pull this thing using the using the solder. Okay. And now we are going to test with the power supply, okay, to see either the short is gone or not. Okay, before measuring with the power supply, we need to cool down the motherboard first. Okay, just a little air. Okay, so I think I need to connect my this hardcore fume extractor so that I can use the I don't have more extension plug. Okay, so never mind. Okay, later on I will go find some in the hardware store. Okay, so we are going to connect with the power supply, the motherboard to the power supply, and see either the short is gone or not. Okay, so it is connected to the power supply, and then we're going to turn on the power supply. And still we have a small short right there, which is 9 milliamp. I think it is normal. Okay, but let's try to turn on the phone, and we need the Tigris back. Okay, let's revolve first the Tigris. Okay, now we are going to revolve the Tigris. You need the stencil for the Tigris, which is the iPhone XR. and the phone is putting to the menu, and that's all. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. Okay, so if you like the video, please consider to like this video and also subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell for the upcoming video. Okay, so that's all for today. Thanks all.